Alright, let's get started. So let's go ahead and add an audio file into our project. What you do is you'll go to Media, Bin, Audio File, and Add Audio File. Select that, and next you'll select the sample that you want to use. In this case it's going to be the Vandals. I'm going to wait for you. You'll just highlight it, double click, and hit done. You can also hit add. It's going to bring it here in this section here, and you just hit done. It's going to add it to your audio bin, which we have here. So this right here is the main audio file. This is the source of our samples. So what you want to do is you want to double click on the audio file. It's going to bring up the sample editor. Alright, so in the sample editor, what you want to do next is start to select the parts of the sample that you want to use in your track. In this case, I've already selected about 4 parts, but I left the last one just to show you as an example. So go ahead and audition it. Alright, so I already know that I want to get this portion of the sample right here to use. So you can start out by selecting that, going over to Edit, and creating a region. Now, as you can see right there, when you did that, a corresponding region was created over here in your audio bin. Alright, so now you want to go ahead and edit that and make sure it loops perfectly or loops to your liking. Alright, so once you got your loop set, you're ready to start sampling or editing the sample rather. So my next step will be is I'll actually bring that sample onto the arrange window. Let's make sure that's alright, so that's cool. Alright, so you'll bring this over, you'll place it on your audio track. Now if you look at this, take a step back for a moment. Now if you look at this, the tempo is 120. I want to make this audio sample match to a 4-bar loop. Okay, but we don't know what the tempo is. Quick way to fix that is to highlight the sample itself, go to Option, Tempo, and you're going to go to Adjust Tempo using Region, Length, and Locator. Alright, so what that means is you're going to adjust the tempo of this audio sample or this audio file to match 4 bars, and it's going to change the tempo as well, so it'll actually be 4 bars. Alright, let's go to Options, and you're going to hit Global, and boom. Your sample is now a 4-bar loop. The tempo has changed, but at this point in the game, don't really worry about your tempo too much. Your tempo is really going to come into play when you start recording and you start doing your drums, but until then it really doesn't matter what the tempo is, because you're still editing your audio file. You're going to probably be doing some time stretching and some flex time, which I'm going to show you today. Alright, so let's audition the track with the metronome and make sure it sounds close or close enough. Alright, so as you can see, it's close, but it's not spot on. Alright, so what I'll do at this point, I'll use a really good feature in Logic called Flex Time. It's really dope. What you do is I have a button set up here for flex time already. I'm not sure where it is up here, but we'll go. All right, so you go to flex time, and probably put it on polyphonic for now. And what you see is it's going to start marking off all the transients on the track. Now, what you want to do is you want to have the transients match up with your timeline, and they're a little off. Now, this could be from two things. I probably could have cut the sample wrong, or the band at the time of recording, they probably didn't record with a metronome and it wasn't exactly perfect. Easy fix. So what I'll do is I'll bring my pointer next to the transient marker right here, and I'll click it, and it's going to make a little arrow, and it's going to drag that to the nearest beat. I'll do that here for 3. Beat 4 is a little off also, so we'll bring that over, adjust it, and then we're going to audition it, and it should be in time. Let's see. So I just see that loops perfectly now. So that sounds good. So now we got a sample set up. It's in time. Alright, so next thing you may want to do is you want to chop the sample up and make a new sampling instrument. So you can play it on your MPD device or your MIDI controller or whatever you're using, even your caps lock keyboard. So what I'll usually do is I'll use the cut tool or the scissor tool, and the quick key for that is you hit escape and you can hit 5. You got your scissor tool. Now the scissor tool is going to cut up the audio sample, according to the grid. What I like to do is use the auto chop feature on here. It's really similar to what the MPC does, and I'll show you what I mean. You'll hold down Option, and you'll click to where you want to make the divisions at, and you just let go. Alright, so as you can see, I have about 16 different samples in here. They're all chopped up evenly from that audio loop. Next thing you do is you'll highlight all of these and right click and go to convert to new sampler track, and you're going to select regions. It's going to do its thing. Now at this point, the source audio is going to be muted. I'll bring that up, and this is my new instrument right here. Alright, and all this is going to be is these chops are going to get played back with MIDI notes. Alright, that's cool. So what I want to do is I want to open up the ESX24 itself and go over to edit. Alright, and I want to set all of my samples to get played as one shots, meaning that when I hit the pad, all I have to do is tap the pad and the whole sample will play out from beginning to end. And also for the next 16 or 15 pads, will do the same thing for all the samples. So what you want to do is you want to go over to groups. You want to change the max poly to 1. That's your max polyphony, and that's pretty much saying how many samples will be able to be played at one time. And I only want 1 to be played at one time. This way, when I play one pad or one key or one MIDI note to the next, it'll cut the one before it off. Also here, I'll select all of the samples and I'll set them all in one shot. Alright, and you're going to close this out. You're going to hit save. And what that's going to do is it's going to So you'll be able to play it pretty much like a MPC will operate. Alright, so as you see, I have my sample chops set up. Next thing you might want to look at doing later on is actually transposing or tuning, and you can do that here. There's a lot of options you could do. There's plugins that you could do pitch shifting, or you could change the pitch. I like to do it within the sampler because it changes the pitch and also speeds up the sample a little bit at the same time. And it's a really nice effect. Where you can do that here is with the tune control right here. You just tune it up a little bit. Alright, so as you see, it gives it a slightly better sound. It's not too close to the original, and you get to flip your sample. So there you go. You just flipped your sample, first part of your sample in Logic, and I'm